I cried because she was not. She had since passed away. But when I got the finished mix of that song and I heard her in my head saying, "I can't wait to hear it," and she ain't here to hear it, bro. it was like something.
Sydir, but that's a healing though.
You're listening to the Hot Seed Podcast.
The Hot Seed.
Welcome to the Hot Seed Podcast presents All Black Everything Volume 3, presented by All Black Everything 24/7, 365. I'm your boy Sean Xavier, and along with my co-host Earl.
Yo, what up?
Dave.
Yes, sir.
And you know it is. We're just dads with mics, games with headsets, and a whole lot of unfiltered conversation. And as always, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Hot Seed Podcast, and subscribe on YouTube at the Hot Seed Podcast. Our special guest for episode 1 of this series, none other, the esteemed Sydir and Terrell T-Rex Simon.
What's up?
Welcome, gentlemen.
What up?
What's
What up?
up?
What up?
I'm excited, man, to get you guys in here. And yeah, we're gonna get through this. You know, technical and all. Hopefully, it looks a little better on my side at the end of the day than what this looks like, but it's okay. That's gonna be quite all right, man. Of course, everybody who's tuning in, not only can you view this actually on YouTube, but also will be available on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your favorite podcast shows. We're gonna be with you guys all June, all July for this wonderful, wonderful series. Again, man, how's you guys doing, man? Let's get right to how was you guys' your weekends? I know we celebrated Memorial Day, if you want to call that, last week, and a lot of things going on. Summer's kind of popping off. How we doing? To our guests, how we doing?
I'm pretty good, man. We can get past this bipolar weather. If we can get the weather to pick a setting and stay on it, you know what I mean? Because I'm feeling a kind of way about the fact that it's June and I had my heat on yesterday. You know what I mean? So yeah,
New York get crazy like that.
Yes,
my weekend was good. It was Life Jenner's birthday, so I spent the weekend with Life in Philly.
Nice.
He had 3 shows on his birthday, 1 show the night before. So that's how I spent my weekend, just traveling with him, making sure he was good.
Bet.
Like it, man. Earl, Dave, what y'all got going on, man?
Nah, man, I was cooking out yesterday. That's what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? Drinking, cooking out.
I'm with that.
My joint was a symphony. You know, the family was gone in Jamaica, so freedom. See that plug there? See that plug?
I see what you did there.
So yeah, man, it was a blessing, man. Sometimes COVID taught us this, where you just need quiet sometimes. It's nothing against your family or nothing like that, but you just need things to stop and get your mind right. So Earl was joking with me the whole week. He was like, "What you gonna do, man? I see you out there doing this, doing that, man." I was having fun just walking the dog. Like, he probably walked so much during this last week. He was sick of me. But not to jump right into things, but I'm gonna tell you right now, this is my most favorite time of our podcast, especially for the gentlemen that we have on, because this All Black Everything series, I know I can speak for my other co-hosts here. it's not just an interview like a podcast where we just sit back and talk about, you know, your achievements and your accomplishments, things like that, your shows you got going. We're going to talk about those things. But a lot of people don't know the story of how you got to that point. So people tune out when you just talk about achievement. And when we could talk about, no, let's talk about how you got past that wall that popped up and things like that. What was the strife that you went through? Let's talk about the family. You know, we just came off like mental health month. Let's talk about your mental health, the ups and downs. So that's what I love about this series, because we could tap in with different businesses, different entrepreneurs, different artists, and really pick their brain. So if y'all down for that unfiltered conversation, I am excited. Excited.
Let's go.
I'm with it, man. It's a great weekend all the way around, man. I went down with the family, man. I went down to Danville, Virginia. Yes, way down there in parts of Virginia where it's interesting. I'll put it. Yeah, when you start, when you start to get into the places with the with the villas down there. Yeah, you start getting to the villas, and that's when you know it's like Charlottesville, Danville.
Still got the certain signs and flags up.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Oh, them goddamn Confederate flags. Oh, they out there. That's
I know it.
But what I found also, because there's a lot of Hispanics. There are a lot of Hispanics that live in that part of the state in the region. It's mind-boggling. Like, isn't there a lot of us out there? I'll tell you that right now. And I have a lot of family from Danville. But man, it's a lot of Hispanics that live out there. It's interesting. It's just interesting to see. But it was fun, man. I went there for actually my daughter's godmother's upcoming son's baby shower. There's a lot going on there.
But
it was fun. And
I'll say her family. That's when somebody breaks down their title at their job. Nah,
it was like
I am the custodial presidente.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It was that, man. But her family knows how to do it, man. Her, loves her father and her mom. And they had a whole taco man out there, bro. Like, he brought a whole taco situation out there. Smack. And then they just come out with like bottles of tequila. Smack. And somebody was like, "You want a drink?" I'm like, "No,
you weren't having."
Yeah, you know you fucking with. You don't know you.
I would have loved that.
I'm just saying that right now.
Yes.
Oh man, it was game time. Man. But yeah, man. That was really the weekend itself is really fellowship and everything else in between. And like Dave said, to reiterate, I have been eager to get to this series. Salute to everybody who's been involved into volume 1 and volume 3, and not that third time's a charm, but I feel like this is going to be our biggest one so far because we're doing 2 months worth. So this is our biggest slot of guests that we've had so far. So before we go any further, we must give a salute to our illustrious sponsor, none other than All Black Everything 24/7. So All Black Everything 24/7. Make sure you check out their line of men's and women's apparel featuring their Ace of Spade card edition, patchwork collection, the DC inspired Love My City collection, is so much more. From hats, hoodies, jackets, and sweatsuits, All Black Everything 24/7, 365 got you covered. So make sure you shop now at allblackeverything247.com. That's allblackeverything247.com. Salute the Ray Farmer, our illustrious sponsor, man. So
shout out to Ray.
Let's get right into it. So again, man, we're with you guys, man. Right now, our illustrious guests, Sydir and Terrell T-Rex Simon. Should I say T-Rex? Oh, I got to give out the whole name.
Yeah, you said Terrell T-Rex Simon once. You could say just T-Rex.
I just want to make sure.
See, that's like that title we were saying earlier.
Like, God, Terrell T-Rex Simon. I said, yeah. Sean P. Diddy Combs, Mary J. Blige. But nah, T-Rex is good.
Enough.
There you go.
Fair enough. It's interesting that we get you both on the same time. Dave gave a quick shout out and salute, man. Quick plug to a song that it's still in regular rotation for me, man. Freedom. When I saw that from the visuals, if you guys have not checked it out, make sure you go to either of their IG handles, man, and it'll link them to YouTube. Freedom was my shit, man. Like from the sample to just the energy behind it, everything else in between, man.
Thank you.
For those who don't know, how did that collaboration come about?
So, so just to give a quick little backstory, right? Me and Rex have been, like I was telling you before we went live, we've been friends like for some years, and it's always been a thing where we always talked about working together. But I mean, Rex, we sat on how many writing sessions and putting songs together, and nothing ever came to be. Nothing ever happened. It just and the stuff we was coming up with was hot, and it just would never happen. So the pandemic hit. Fast forward a little bit, the pandemic hit. George Floyd's murder happened, and Freedom was born from that. I wrote it out and everything, and I already had the track or what have you. But I was like, who am I gonna get to sing on this? Now, me and Rex being who we are, there was this restaurant in the neighborhood, over in Harlem rather. They would let us come and sit in the window when restaurants were supposed to be closed or whatever. So me and Rex, we sitting up in the window with the whole joint open, and we got our what was we drinking? Rum punch or something. And I said, we got to talking about the whole George Floyd situation, whatever. I said, Rex, man, listen. And it was crazy because I wasn't even gonna say anything to him, but something in my spirit was like, tell him. You know, we always talk about what we're working on. So I said, Rex, man, I got this song, man, that I just wrote, and like, check this out. So I held my phone up and played the track, and I just went to singing the parts that I had written for whoever the singer was gonna be. And he was like, what? Yo, I got it. He gets hot. Yo, when Rex gets hyped, when Rex wants to get on a project, that boy goes all the way in like Flynn, yo. And I think that was like what, maybe a Sunday, Saturday, Rex. And we came here and recorded it that Wednesday. And as they say, the rest is history, man. And it is like I was saying before, man, like the timing of it all, you can't beat timing, the right timing. It just together so organically, man. And it's like, I can't hear as many singers as I know. I can't hear anyone else doing that song but Rex.
Yeah. And we have been in the house, COVID, you know, watching everything happening, what was going on with the Black Lives Matter. And for me, it was just like, I was mad. And that the song was just like an outlet for me to just kind of like just let out my frustrations and everything that I was feeling and give it to the public, you know? So that's what it was for me. The song for me was just like, like, let me let this out, man. Like, you know, we're going to be free. We need our freedom, you know? And at the time, the streets was filled with Black Lives Matter. And, you know, out of all of the years of us being friends and wanting to work together, at this time, it came together. Like COVID, I don't know, like during COVID, we put out the most music I put a whole album out during COVID. We finally got the collab during COVID. We outside doing music videos and running around doing stuff and everybody in the house. But yeah, man, it took, you know, all of that stuff to happen for the song to come.
Yep.
See, and
we often said,
you know,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Dave.
It just sounds therapeutic in a sense because, you know, for something that dark to happen, it came out of it from, you know, you brothers coming together because, you know, I live a life that everything happens for a reason. I don't know how other people do things. Not saying that bad things should happen, but we can either sit back and be silent about things, or we can, what we always say, wake up and realize what happened, and then what you're gonna do.
Right.
You know, and I'm telling you that song is like a ritual. I'm telling you.
And you know what? I mean, it's a few years old now, right? COVID was like what, 2-3 years ago.
Right. It's like,
but the response has just been crazy, man. Like we performing a lot together, and like the energy on stage is just crazy, and just the right song for the right time. Yep. You know, like Mary and Meth had that. You're all I need. Like no matter what they do after that, like you know, that record is still that classic record, and that's what freedom is, man. It's gonna be classic forever.
I don't feel like it's going anywhere. Right? It's like as long as it's Black History Month, Juneteenth,
Yeah.
anything Black Lives Matter, that song is going to be relevant. You know what I
And
mean?
I'm a gospel artist, so you know, I work with hip hop and R&B, you know, on the management and the, you know, on the background singer side. But my music we call rhythm and gospel. So I love hip hop. That was like my first time people really got to see me like on a real hip hop track, you know. And they're like, wait a second, is it gospel? What's going on here? You know. So yeah, man, great record, man, timeless record.
Well, you know, it's actually key that you said that, T-Rex, because I remember when I was looking at your page and I thought I saw it say RNG, and I was like, man, did he mean to put? And then I was like, I get it. I got you. And just breaking it down. But, you know, a lot of things, music in general spurs from gospel. You know, it is your own gospel. So for y'all to come together on that song, that's why I said it was meant to be kind of in that sense. You know,
Freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, the video, everything, like you said, it's therapeutic. You know, it was very therapeutic at the time. You know, and then to put the song out and to hear, you know, everybody feeling the same way was amazing.
The only bad part of it is, you know, like you already said, it is something that's probably going to be relevant for some time. So, not saying that we don't want the song to play, but at the same time, it's going to be relevant. You know, you get what I'm saying about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Every Black History Month, every Juneteenth month, this song and video comes back. You know. So we performed it last year at a few Juneteenths, and we're gonna be performing it this year again. I'm doing a big concert here in Marcus Garvey Park Amphitheater. I don't know if y'all seen the movie Summer of Soul. Historic. I live right across the street from there.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So we're gonna be doing the record that night too. And people are always saying, "Man, we can't wait for freedom. We can't wait for freedom."
Yep. And you know what's so funny about that? When I wrote it, I didn't even give it. My whole thing at the time that I wrote it was like, God, I'm not hearing any musicians saying anything. So that was another reason, you know, why I wrote it. And I didn't expect for it to become a thing that people always ask for. It's like a staple song now. Whenever I do a show, are you doing freedom? You doing freedom? Like, you know, but you know, it is what it is. You know, I'm happy about it.
Yeah, you should be. Yeah, I mean that's how
what
most
I like about the
do.
song,
they sweep it underneath the rug. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
No. What I like about the song, and this is something that I've come to understand and enjoy about Sydir's music. He and I go back several years, a lot of years. And one thing that I've always found in the songs that he writes, they are unapologetically him. And what I mean by that is there is no fluff. There is no, hey, I got to use this creative wordplay not to turn off the listener, because there's a part in freedom, depending on who you are, and you go listen to the song, watch the video, you know what I'm talking about, and it gets to talking about the caring part. Most people, depending on their level, they would like, okay, let's go ahead and touch on this, but not touch on it too much because we don't want to turn off or offend. Right. Whereas if you listen to not just this song, but any of Sydir's music, it's in your face. This is what the fuck I'm feeling right now. And that's why it resonates so much. I mean, and that's what it does. I mean, that's everything he's written. I've been a fan of his for years. And I always listen to those little nuances in there, be like, all right, is he going to take it? Oh yeah, he did take it here. Now, and I guess I can go into, you know, tie this all together, because we were talking about freedom was a song for the time. Like most thing, we had the most energy in the Black community during that time. But I think we can all agree that that energy lessened as things got back to quote unquote normal. How do you guys maintain the, not just the energy around being an artist, but also balancing the day-to-day, everyday life type, if that makes sense?
Well, for me, I have a 5-year-old that keeps me on my toes. You know what I'm saying? And it's like constantly thinking about the things that me as a man having to like teach him how the world is keeps me reminded of all the things that we just came out of and the things that we'll probably continue to deal with as Black people. You know what I mean? So that alone, aside from, you know, just me myself having to go out into the world and deal with the craziness, but having to make sure he's ready, make sure he's prepared and understands what's what. You know what I mean? That alone keeps me, you know, on my toes, man. It's a lot. It's a lot, yo.
I mean, I got into business right after high school. Life was just getting out of doing 10 years in prison, and I was just graduating high school. We both moved to Brooklyn. This before he got his record deal, you know, we became friends and everything. And I mean, it's just a gift that God gave me, you know. I've been singing since a kid, since I could know how to sing. But, you know, professionally, the music business is all I know. I got out of high school and I went straight with Life, straight on tours, you know, with Life and Neo and all these guys. And I guess it's just the love of music, man. I love music and I love people, you know. So I guess when you put those two together, you know, it just kind of keeps me going. You know, it kind of keeps me going. Like it's really hard to explain because really, if it's up to me, I wouldn't be doing music at all. I would rather just sit down and mind my business, not have to be online, not have to deal with like all the stuff that you have to deal with. I'm a loner now. I've learned it's best to be like kind of like by myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's so much to learn and to deal with like in this business, but it's a learning experience. Like you have to learn as things come, and you just keep it moving. So this will be 20 years now that I've been touring and doing music, and I'm still moving. But I think it's just the love of music, you know, not the money, not the fame. You know, I've learned what happens when you look for things out of place. You know, you look for fame, you're gonna get it. You know, it's a lot that comes along with this that people don't really understand until you actually get in the business.
People change around.
Yeah, but you know what? If you want to be famous, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I'm also very like not a judgmental kind of person. I think everybody's different. We all got, you know, whatever.
To each his own.
Yeah,
right.
But I've learned, you know, for me, that it had to be more than just fame and money. I had to love them, you know, love the music, love what I'm doing. And you know, I love touching people. I love seeing people healed or, you know, feeling better about after the music that, you know, we putting out.
You know what, T-Rex, since you had touched on it for a second, did yours go the way of deep within the church, growing up within the church, and then kind of staring out, or was yours more of a, I got a touch of the church, but it's more of a ghetto gospel?
Nah, I was brought up in the church.
Okay.
3 services a Sunday, 5 services a week. You know, on the praise team, the choir director. You know, I was brought up in church like that. But I always loved Michael Jackson. I always loved R&B. And actually, Tito, the one that came up with the rhythm and gospel. When I decided after working with Life for so long, I was like, man, I don't want to just do gospel. I don't want to just do hip hop. But you know, the church people make you feel like you're going to hell, you know, for singing R&B music. I went through a whole thing with church people and R&B music. You know, and I went to my pastor one day. I'll say this quick, and I was like, you know, after, you know, getting older, I said, Pastor, am I going to hell for listening to R&B music? You know, because I'm listening to R&B, I'm doing these concerts, but I'm still coming to church. I don't know, people looking at me crazy. And he was like, man, do you think when me and my wife is having our special time that we listening to Jesus is climbing up the rough side of the mountain?
Oh, man.
He was like, no, we listening to Marvin Gaye. We listening to, you know, but they make you feel like, because you go in the car, you look in the CD, you don't see no R&B. You know, you don't know if, you don't even think they are listening to that, you know, or even have an understanding of that. And once he said that to me, I was like, man, these people can't put me in no heaven or hell. Judge when I'm singing, and then you looking at them and everything they saying they ain't doing,
and they ain't living righteous.
That's a bar right there.
You ain't never been to church meeting.
You know? But you know what? You know, I started learning. sin is sin. There's no bigger sin than another sin. Everything, God looks at everything the same.
Right.
A liar and a murderer, he didn't say a murder, that was a bigger sin. Like, sin is sin. So whatever you're doing, it might not be exactly what I'm doing, but you're doing something. So we don't have, no right to kind of like, once I learned that and got confident in that, who I was and understood that my relationship is just between me and him, because when I die, it's just going to be me and him sitting there. It ain't going to be my auntie, my uncle. You're not going to be able to say, well, my dad. It's just going to be you and that, and he ain't really going to want to hear or care what anybody else had to say or anybody had to do. It's going to be between you and him. So
I remember,
once I got, and that took years of building my confidence to get to a place where I could actually talk about it like this now.
Well, I'll say this.
Ask that plate.
I'll say this. Definitely learned years ago. This is back when I was in high school. They were saying that if you don't, God gives everybody talent. So if you don't use it, He gonna take it back. So, you're using your talent. And then also too, like, and I'm a music head. Like I'm a fake musician. I can't play no instruments or nothing. But like I feel like I'm a fake A&R. Like I'm, like
But you use your talent.
He lied.
But then you say, you know what? They say, oh, you can use.
He got some
they say you
instruments
can use
in him.
You can use your talent in the church.
Yeah,
but then look, then they don't want to pay you. Right. So that's where the world creep in, because you say I can go down to the club and I can do the same thing for a certain amount of time and walk out there and won't have to feed my family. The church say, oh no, this is you supposed to come. This is something that you're supposed to do, unto God. So I mean that you opening the door right there, buddy.
But say, even like I mean, me and Dave, we be going back and forth. But I mean, we on the same page. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up in the church, just like you. I mean, my grandmother was the lady that did the announcements, so I was in there helping her making bulletins. You know what I'm saying? And this is back. This is back before computer. This was like typewriters. I seen that lady type this stuff out. And then we go
over and over.
Yeah.
Yep,
no, I mean,
copies.
One copy, then we go, get a copy. So like, my mother sung in the choir, so I was there like Monday through Thursday, pretty much. Bible study and all of that. And I ain't gonna lie, I was going because I had no choice. You understand what I'm saying? So it wasn't until I got older
I'm gonna get my church finger.
Oh, you cut me off. It wasn't. So it wasn't.
Nah, brother.
Yeah. The little ushers, in the aisle. But it wasn't until I got older that I had my own relationship, with the Lord. But the reason why I wanted to tell you, like, I hate when people say, man, you got to just stay in the church and sing and things of that nature. Like, yo, you can reach people in other facets. Like y'all song "Freedom" right there is reaching people. You know what I'm saying? So it's more than one way to skin a cat. So
in the Bible, Jesus didn't even hang around with church people. Right. They said whenever you seen him or when he was out, he wasn't hanging around them people. He didn't even like hanging around religious and righteous people. He was hanging with the people on the block. He was hanging out with everybody else. He just wasn't doing what they was, exactly what they were doing.
Right.
But they try to separate you and say, well, you shouldn't be, when God wasn't separated, he was God for everybody.
Right.
Loved everybody, hung out with everybody, bums, crackhead. They said he hung out with everybody but righteous people.
Yep.
Now, see, I want to go somewhere real quick. I told y'all, real conversation, right? We'll talk a little bit about, what you do as far as entertainment. But Sydir, on your side, you spoke about you said 5-year-old son, right?
Yes.
All right. So I know for us here, one of our lines for the show, slogans for the show is that we're dads with mics. We're all dads here. And I know for me personally, my son pretty much saved me, especially for what I was doing at the time, as far as how different things were going. But, it's a wake-up call, because I always tell people, if you really look at parenthood the right way and you really focus on it, it's one of the first times that you're sitting back and you're living your life for someone else, and you have somebody else's life in your hands. and it's one of the scariest things ever.
Yes.
And no one can tell you. There's no book out there to tell you how to do it. You can't go to nobody. You can get little tidbits here and there, but your child is your child, and the way you're going to do things and prepare them, especially for this world,
right,
is different than if you go back past generations. Not to compare the two. I say that to ask you this: how did things change for you 5 years ago when your child came into this world?
How did it exponentially? First of all, Sean and Rex will tell you I never, ever aspired to be nobody's parent. Dude, I spoke so highly against having children. It was like, especially being here in New York City, chasing the dream. And I don't know if you're familiar with here, but it's a constant go. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to leaving this house at 9-10 o'clock in the morning and not coming back until like maybe 1-2 o'clock, maybe 3 o'clock in the morning. From out, I work my regular job, then I'm out on the circuit doing music, appearing places, out with Rex, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So to have somebody come in and kind of completely turn that upside down, turn that around. And the crazy thing about it, ever since he came along, dude, it's never been a thing of not being able to do the things I want and need to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like all my priorities just shifted and nothing really fell apart. Everything fell into place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's I'm stumbling right now because it's so many things that I could say, but it's like, we're only dealing with so much time. And
there's still things to be done. Yeah.
It's crazy, man. And then like, aside from the lifestyle change, just the changes that being a parent made in me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know I could love somebody that much. I didn't know I had this much patience. I didn't know I had the time on hand to sit down and teach. I mean, just all these things. Rex is tripping because Rex knows me prior to parenthood, and Rex knows me after parenthood.
I couldn't get to pick up a blunt before parenthood. Now nigga pass the blunt.
Oh, that don't stop nothing. That don't stop nothing. That don't stop nothing.
Listen,
what you mean you ain't got nothing?
Rex, Rex, you got a light, Rex?
That don't stop a damn thing.
Listen. When I drop my son off, me and Rex get together, y'all. I promise you, I could go out here on the block and uproot a whole ass tree and smoke it. Because it's but and that's not to speak bad about parenthood. It's just this thing of like I'm learning that okay, it's okay for me to have my me time. It's okay for me to want your little ass to go away so that I can regroup and be the best me that I need to be for you. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's so many things, man. But nothing has stopped me from chasing the dream. And it's so crazy because now I hear him repeating the words to songs like Freedom and other songs that I have. And he knows who T-Rex is. T-Rex is like his honorary uncle. He loves some T-Rex. Oh, when we going to T-Rex's? Oh, are we going to go hang out with T-Rex?
Doing a great job, though. Not having a car, like if you know the train system, like having to get up, get him up, get on the train, get him to a school that is nowhere near where your job is.
Yeah.
Right.
Now you go to work. Now you after work go pick him up. That's me. That's why I ain't got that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, you better than me.
Trust me.
Still trying to be artist, still going to the play, still making sure he's at karate class, still putting music out, still touring. Like I be wondering how mothers do that. Like how moms sometimes with like 2 and 3 and 4 kids, and you just see your with one. It's just I don't know. It's crazy.
Anybody with more than one, my hat goes off. My hat goes all the way off to anybody with more than one kid.
So there, I asked you that because you had asked if I know the area up there. I'm originally from New York and raised in Jersey over in Broadway. Okay, and so I know well. And even my wife, she's from Brooklyn, East New York, Crescent Ave. Blah, blah, blah. So that's the Jamaican side. But I asked that because to switch it a little bit, I see that drive and that energy, even when I go and I look at your different reels and stuff like that, and how you pull the people in and stuff, and that energy that you have. And you get that because that drive can't stop as a parent.
It can't.
It just can't.
It's heightened.
You know,
now.
even when you're tired,
It's
you're not
heightened
allowed
now.
to be tired.
Yeah, it's heightened now. Like I tell people all the time, it's like it was one thing when I was chasing the dream just because I wanted these things for myself, but now I got a whole other person that's watching me and imitating me and looking up to me, and it's like now I done kicked it into overdrive, so I got to do it even more so. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wouldn't change for the world though.
It's
Wouldn't change for anything.
I was waiting. I was waiting for him to ask you that question, knowing you like I do, and to see what the comparison was. It's interesting, like how this stuff all comes full circle. You were talking about the fact that T-Rex knew you before fatherhood, and then he knows you now. After post fatherhood and everything you're doing there, and then of course your son's asking about T-Rex. Go back, me and Dave saw the same way. We met each other on that same premise, probably around the same time, maybe a little before you and I met, and we met on a musical aspect, and then now he ends up becoming the godparents of my kids, but it was all built towards that music aspect. And he asked you about the grind of it, and it reminds me of a situation. I had to pick up my son from he was in middle school at the time, elementary school, I'm sorry, and my son's never gotten a fight, but he got a little in a bit of a shoving match back then, and it was like before career day or something like that. And Dave may know this story. And Javen got in the back and forth for a little kid, and the little kid was saying something about his dad and my son. And this is the time when I was doing work for
I do remember this
for other companies and whatnot. And he was like, my dad's famous. And the little boy was like, no, he's not. And my son was like, yes, he is. No, he's not. And a fight ended up happening. But that let me know that he was watching what I was doing. And at the time, let me know that no matter how hard it was working this, not even 9 to 5, this graveyard shift to 5, and we knew each other during this time, I could not stop because I had this guy watching what I was doing.
Yep.
And if I quit, there's no way as he gets older, now he just graduated, I can tell him, hey, man, you got to keep going. He'll look at me like, but you quit back then. So it's interesting that because you and I've had these conversations. We've had those hard conversations, you and I, and we were like, this is unfiltered conversation. We're like, fuck this, man. This shit ain't happening. I'm putting all this time in. I know I'm way talented. I'm putting in the work, and I'm seeing these folks get these opportunities, and that should be me. And now you got that person looking at you now. You be like, oh, okay, I just need to move a little different way and understand that what I'm doing is the right thing. It doesn't matter what, the other people think. It's what he thinks. And now, to your point, you drop Freedom. And that one scene that was deleted, I don't know if you ever said why. The scene that was cut that it had the overhead shot of you guys Freedom.
So here's the thing.
Talking about?
Yeah, I do. Here's the thing.
Yes.
Before the Freedom video came to be what it is out to the world now, we shot I started shooting without Rex, and it was like a different concept. I had several other scenes that were shot prior, but I was out and about one day in the city, and my man can tell you, here in the city, you'll be walking along and you'll see like a graffiti wall, and it'll just inspire a whole shoot, or it'll just change the direction. So I messed around, and it's crazy how things happen. There's one particular day I was on the 1 train, and I messed around and fell asleep. I woke up at 191st Street, which is way up in the Heights. And when I got off, there's like this. Now, mind you, my stop is 181. Where I was going at the time, the stop was 181. But I fell asleep. I woke up at 190 rather. And I got off the train or whatever, and I'm just like walking through the Heights or whatever. But to get off of that train, you don't just come up the steps and go to the sidewalk. You go through this long tunnel, and the tunnel is like, it's like 3 blocks long, and there's nothing but a big graffiti tunnel. And I was like, yo, what is this? Like I felt like I had walked into a gold mine, yo. You know what I'm saying? And that just completely shifted the whole direction of what I was gonna do. So by the time we shot that scene and me and Rex got together and shot the subway scene.
Yeah, I was hyped about the train scene because I was like, Michael Jackson did this.
Dude, it was crazy. And you know, and all that just went together. So the other scenes that we had shot, like the overhead with the Black Lives Matter and me swinging Ging around and stuff, and it was a lot of scenes like that, and it just didn't flow together. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that was, man. But I continued to post those deleted scenes, like, you know, on my social media and such from time to time.
Freedom.
Fair enough, man. So we talk about music, man. This is All Black Everything, Volume 3, with our special guests, Sydir and T-Rex, presented by All Black Everything, 24/7, 365. It's Black Music Month, man. June 1, Black Music Month. And we look back, highlight, spotlight everything that got us to this point. Those who have contributed to what music is, the originators, everything else in between, I guess. But I guess I'll take it from each one of you. What does this particular month, and again, what we do in music cannot be regulated to one month. So let's get that out of here right now. It's like Black History Month. But since we got a month,
Right.
we're gonna do what it is.
Right.
What does this month, I put it this way. Now, what do you want people to take away from this time?
I want people to understand that it's really us that are the root of a whole lot of, if not damn near everything that they're hearing. You know what I mean? It's like I said in Freedom, we built this shit from the basics. You know what I mean? As far as what Black Music Month means to me, for me, it's just a time to really, really amplify our voices, amplify us as a people artistically and so on and so forth. But again, like you said, it's not, you can't shrink it down to 1 month. It's like Black History Month being February. You can't shrink Black History down to 28 days.
Right. The shortest month of the year.
Yeah.
Right.
And if we're lucky, we might get a 29th day.
On the leap year.
Right.
What do you
Every
say?
4
Give us
years,
a longer month.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So yeah.
Black History
What you
Month,
got, T-Rex?
Black Music Month. I don't know, man. Like, I'm honestly just really like getting into like the whole Black Music Month thing, and I honestly forget every year until like I'm just really noticing that it is now because of I see the sign right there on the interview. It's Black Music Month for me every month, and I'm always celebrating Black music, Black history, you know, all year, you know. So, you know, the month, you know, I don't really know. I don't.
Yeah, all music is Black music. I mean,
That is true.
Country,
That is true.
blues,
Facts.
everything. But I did want to ask y'all, you know, with you guys being artists, who were some of your biggest influences?
Ooh. Rex, you can go first.
Dave Hollister is my idol.
Man.
Dave! Let me tell y'all something, man. I love Dave. When I was growing up, I was trying to figure. Went through, you know, as a kid, I had like this high pitchy voice. You know, you go through puberty, your voice changed, and it was like I had to learn how to sing all over again. So, you know, all the little high, and my voice went way down to baritone. So, you know, all the ladies and the guys that I was used to singing, I was like, man, I gotta find somebody that I could pattern myself after that sings like a man. That's, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I heard Dave, and that was the end. I wear do-rags to this day because of Dave, because Dave used to wear it. So,
Wow.
fast forward, I ended up working with Dave now. Dave is like my mentor. I just came off tour with him as his opening act last year. What was that, last year or the year before? He brought me out on the road with him. I sang background with him. But to keep going fast, Dave Hollister, that's the GOAT right there.
He's being humble right now, but I cannot tell y'all how hyped this dude was when he called me and told me that he was about to work with Dave Hollister,
Yeah, bro.
dude, it's one of
As
those
a
things.
kid, like growing up, and that's your idol. You know what I mean? Now for me to be able to call Dave right now and he pick up, what up, what up, brother? Like, crazy. Them took me out, man. Crazy.
That was one of those moments where I was so genuinely excited for him, as if it was me myself. Like, because I always knew what Dave meant to this dude. And when he called me and told me, yo, oh my God, I mean, hype.
Yeah, Dave, like, Mary J. Blige. Yeah. And Dave started singing background for Mary, so you know everybody in the same huddle. Sean P. Diddy Combs, like I'm a big Puffy fan. I love hip hop and R&B and all that stuff mixed. So Diddy being the mastermind of that. And I'm in Harlem, just the whole swag. Like I'm a big Diddy fan. And then all the greats, Whitney Houston, Marvin Gaye, but Dave and Mary J. Blige on my two.
Now hold on, my bad, Dave.
I just wanted to answer on Dave real quick and then go right back to that. So that's why I said that ghetto gospel thing before, like his ghetto hymns, Jane.
Oh, yeah.
Because do you see yourself? Well, let me backtrack real quick. Do you feel like you created an album that tells like that ghetto hymns, that ghetto gospel yet?
Nah. Because see, like my album is a little bit more gospel.
Okay. That's what I was
asking. That Dave album was a straight R&B album. He was talking about relationships with women and cheating on women and in the streets and doing all that.
Album.
That's gospel too.
That's a great album.
This next album I got coming out is I'm talking more about life situations.
Stepping outside of the pew. I got
yeah. I just got my face tan. I'm got all kinds of. I'm breaking all the rules like Kirk Franklin.
Kurt got jacked up.
But you know what? Dave is a preacher right now. He's a preacher. He got his own church in Vegas, and Dave is still on the road, Black Street. Dave is still roll up there and smoke a blunt with you. He'll still roll up. Times is changing. Because it's not an action thing no more. It's more of a heart thing. They say sometimes I am not, just because I did it, that don't mean that's what I am.
Right.
I'm not what I do, kind of like thing. So, yeah, to me, it's not it's not in the action. It's in your heart, man.
Right.
So, we sing gospel and R&B.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
True.
What's yours,
Dave and Earl? Your what is this black? What do you want people to take away from this?
Wait. So there give his. Don't let him skip, man.
Either one.
For me, it's simple.
I'm sorry. I thought he did. I apologize. I thought he did. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You good?
Talking about the day,
man. Anybody that knows me already knows Mary is my number one. Mary, Faith Evans. On the production side, Pharrell and Timbaland will always be tops to me. And like Rex said, the greats, dead and alive. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. And I'm really like into performance. You know what I'm saying? Like not just the vocal part of it, but like when I watch on stage, I'm looking at you on stage like, oh my God, that's what I want to do. You know what I mean? So when
that's where the money is. That's what the money is. I'm gonna tell you this: these guys from the '90s are out here making lots of money,
killing it right now.
You know why? Because they put on a good show. People know
they can perform. Yeah,
they can perform. Willie Mae, Frankie Beverly Mae still selling out stadiums. Genuine. I mean, all these '90s artists told. I mean, they out. Adina Howard, a great friend of mine. Freaking three songs. They right now they're out and their schedules.
Let me tell you this real quick. Let me tell you, and Earl's gonna love that I went to this. So my last concert that I went to was a Kim concert, right? And it was Kim, Lettucey, and Music Soul Child. And this is not the down music in any type of way. But I'm trying to tell you, the voices, man, between Kim and Lettucey,
bonkers.
They took the whole place to a whole another level. It was like,
and I've toured with them. I've toured with Lettucey and I've toured with Kim. Full tours I've done with them and watched them every night. They kill.
love was in the air, bro. Like if you didn't
But
hold
that's
your
where they
woman
money
tight,
at. You know, you ain't
that
gonna
was
see
it.
them on TV. You ain't gonna see them on the pop charts. But if you say Kim or Leslie coming to the theater down the block, the whole
Yeah.
theater packed out.
But see,
You know,
and that's what separates you. You know what I'm saying? Because like you got a lot of these artists, and that's why I can't really get with these new cats. I mean, it's a select few, but for me, like I'm the person. I mean, y'all New York. I used to go to the Village Underground. Like that was with Ron Grant.
Ron
You know
Grant. That's where I started.
Ron Grant.
Rest in peace, Ron Grant.
RP.
That's where I started.
Oh, for real? Okay. Yeah,
The
I used to
Village
be in there.
Underground.
I used to be in there every Sunday.
Tony Stevenson. You know Tony Stevenson?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
The bass player, Tiffany, little daughter.
Yeah.
Tiffany's a close friend of ours.
Corey Henry.
Corey Henry.
The funny thing is, when I mean, like I said, I was in there every Sunday. I remember.
Me
Corey,
too.
I
no,
remember
me too,
Corey
bro. Do I know
used to
you?
live in it. You might. You might.
Yo,
I
I was there every Sunday.
The funny thing, I remember Corey Henry used to come in there. He looked straight church, looked like he just came from second service, bro. And then I forgot the brother. What's the other cat that was on the organ? Cedric.
Cedric.
Mitchell.
I just was with Cedric.
He's dope. And then they had a white dude on piano that was cold.
I
forget his name.
Ronnie. Yep, that's my friend too.
But I mean, I seen Tony Royce down there. Then I think Jermaine was down there playing on the drums or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, I mean,
those are my family. That's my family. Those are my family, bro.
But see, and that's what I'm getting at in terms of like, this is why I love performances, because that separates. I mean, I remember I mean, it felt like everybody in the crowd could sing. You know, one of my favorite singers down there was his name was Jaden, but I think right now he go by
Gene Noble.
Gene Noble. Yep.
I took Gene on his first tour, bro, with Life Jennings. I took Gene out 20 years ago. I took him out with me with Life Jennings.
I think the last time I saw him, he was doing backup with Jill Scott for a little bit.
He was Sting right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I mean, this is why
Gene Noble. Yeah, that's my family. That's my little brother.
I mean, he used to shut it. I mean, he would come in there and sing "Love, Shut It Down." Then Ron Grant had a silky smooth. Ron Grant reminded me. You gotta let me cook. Bro. Ron Grant
in the spot.
Ron Grant, bro, like
rest in peace.
He was one of the greatest that I feel like never really got the shot that he should have. I mean, he had like a Luther, a Luther type.
So you know what? I'm gonna tell you this. This is the downfall. A lot of not saying this was Ron Grant's downfall, but when you go on these circuit spots and you there every week singing everybody's karaoke songs, them be the hardest people to be able to break into their own music and be their own artists. Now, see, even though I went and hung out, I never really got too caught up in the karaoke and singing everybody's songs every week, because then you lose your own identity, like, and who you really are.
Right.
You know, right now I could go do shows and I don't gotta sing nobody else's songs.
Right.
I can sing all my songs.
Right.
And people know them, they singing the words, but you can get caught up into that. And I've seen singers do this all the time, to where they get so caught up in the singing everybody else's songs and going, and you forget that you need to have your own single. Your own sound, your own vibe, your own person.
Right.
So I've always went out, but you can't go and see me at the corner every Sunday. I'm not doing that. And for me, like, I just never got caught up in that, but some people, that's what they do. That's what they love,
Right.
So Ron Grant, even though he, great live, he was working at Sony. He was helping a lot of people behind the scenes, vocal coaching and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He never really went and tried to put out his own music and try to develop like his own thing.
Right.
Because of it's money in that. A lot of singers be like, what? I can get paid to go sing karaoke $800 a week for these people. And you get so caught up into that, you forget about your own career. I got friends now that's stuck in those kind of jobs every weekend.
Right.
And they getting that money and they're getting older and ain't no music coming out, but they run around, so you got to kind of like figure out what you're going to do or where you're going to
So look,
or it got to be some type of balance with it, you know.
Right. Absolutely.
real quick, Sydir, this is what I want you to do real quick. I want you to take a deep breath. You're gonna see why I'm gonna tell you that. I told you we take people places on this, right? So I was looking at a couple of your videos and things like that, and I want you to kind of end this with the what I call the hug story with the side of coffee. But I want you to also within that story express your love through loss.
Oh,
If you see where I'm going with it.
oh boy.
Express your love through loss for your sis.
Oh man. You got me, bro. It's so much I can say, man. Damn, you messed me up right quick, bro.
I'm sorry, man.
No, I mean it is what it is. It's still very fresh.
I just want people to feel that love though. That's the main.
Yeah, man. It's devastating to say the least. You know what I mean? It's it's a complete life change, not just for me, but for my son, because I was like his favorite aunt. You know what I mean? And having to navigate my own feelings and emotions, deal with my own stuff, and then help him navigate his feelings and emotions and explain how death works, and you know, and that is crazy because you kind of have to do that. You can't. I can't just. That's like throwing them in the water and just leaving them to try to swim on his own. You know, he doesn't know. You know what I mean? Like on a lighter side, he had a pet that recently died, a cat, and he's thinking that the cat is like, Poppy, when is my cat coming back to life? Because he has 8 more lives. You know what I mean?
I got you. Yeah.
And explaining to him, no, that's not how it works.
That's a little different.
Life, right? You get one life, and when it's over, it's over. You know what I mean? But my sis, man, just the biggest support. You know what's something that's crazy? I have a single that I just put out called Someone. It just came out on the 2nd. And that song, when I started it, when it was just an idea, I was BSing, talking to Senna about dating and wanting to meet someone, so on and so forth, whatever. And I was playing around. I didn't have the track. I didn't have anything. I just started saying to her, I said, yo, I'm gonna write a song that's like, I want someone. Just, I had no melody, no nothing. It was a joke. It started as a joke. And she said to me, she was like, you know something? That might be a bop. That you playing, but that might be a bop. I can't wait to hear it. You know what I'm saying? And I dismissed it. I thought nothing else of it. But I wound up later on getting this track and writing this song to it. And it, and a flashback in my mind of having that conversation with her is kind of what sparked the song. And dude, when that song was completed, man, the way I cried, because she had since passed away. But when I got the finished mix of that song and I heard her in my head saying, I can't wait to hear it, and she ain't here to hear it, bro, it was like something.
But that's a healing though.
Yeah.
Remember when I said everything happens for a reason?
Yeah.
One of the realest things I ever wrote in my life, ever, to this day, was when my pops passed. And every bit of emotion poured out of me, bro. Every bit, but it was everything that I wanted to say. Because I spoke to everybody in the church at that time. Through my father's eyes, if you get me.
I do.
It wasn't a regular poem that I wrote or something like that. This was like, if he was here, this is what he would want you to know. This is what he would want you to know. And sometimes our realest things come from when we're unfiltered and we just sit back and go, let's do this.
Yep.
So that's why I asked you that in that sense.
Absolutely.
Now switch it a little bit. Now, since people know where we're coming from with the emotion of it, tell the hug story with the coffee shop, because that had me going.
So, man, I was having a day. This was like maybe 2 weeks ago now, I think. 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. And I was at work. It was just emotionally a jacked up day. I was missing Senna. Her name was Senna. Just missing her like crazy. Emotions all over the place. It was one of those days where you could, if somebody asked me, how are you doing? I probably would have just melted. just lost my junk altogether. But so I decided I'm gonna leave work. I'm gonna walk out or what. I'm gonna venture out, and I go into this dispensary, or so I thought. It turned out to be just a display shop, but there's a coffee shop in there, and I'm just looking around or whatever, and the guy behind the counter, he's all happy, cheerful. His energy is through the roof and everything. And he's like, hey man, you know, what you gonna have? You know, we got so and so and blah blah blah, and we grow our own coffee, so on and so forth, or whatever. And I can put what can I mix up for you in a cup that's gonna make you smile? What can I do for you that's gonna make you happy or whatever? And I just told him straight up, because at that particular point in the day, man, I was like, you know what, I can't even fake it right now, because you know how sometimes you might be. You know, FaceTime. I'm sorry. My son's
good,
trying to
good.
FaceTime. All right. Yeah. Can y'all see me?
Nah.
Hold. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right.
I can hear
I'm
you.
not
You
sure.
can hear you. We got you.
Just keep talking. But yeah, he's like, you know, what can I put in a cup to, you know, make you feel better, yada yada yada. And like I said, I just reached a point to where I couldn't fake it no more. You know, sometimes when people ask you if you're okay, you might be like, yeah, I'm good, but really on the inside, you just tore the hell up. And that's how I was that day. But I told dude straight up, I said, man, honestly, it ain't nothing that you can put in that cup to fix me right now, because I'm hurting like a mother right now. You know what I mean? And dude comes from, he's like, man, come here. And he comes from behind the counter, and just grabs me up snatches me up like an old homie. And a complete stranger, and I'm kind of like uncomfortable. You know what I mean? But it's like I was uncomfortable, but at the same time, I just felt like breaking down completely in that dude's arms, man.
Yeah.
You know, I did, man. And it was just like, and I put my arms around him, and he just like held me there for a minute, like, and he squeezed. I was like, look, dude, all right, we good. You know what I mean? Like, let me go before I just completely melt down right now. You know what I mean? So, you know, after he let me go, you know, I attempted to order my coffee. I attempted to pay for my coffee rather, and he wound up giving it to me for free and what have you. And we just talked. You know what I'm saying? I told him what happened. You know what I'm saying? And he, you know, we chatted about it, and that was pretty much it. But from that moment on, man, my day, it's almost like the heaviness of my day just dissolved in that moment. You know what I mean? And I walked away from that, like, I walked away from that feeling like, because I'm always that person for other people. You know what I mean? And it was just weird. It was crazy for me to accept in that moment somebody being that for me when I put that out so much and never really got it back. But yeah, man, it was needed, man. So yeah, that's the hug story.
Oh yeah, but that was her. That was her.
Yeah,
man.
Absolutely.
Yep. I know I changed vibe a little bit. Let's bring back. Do your thing. Unfiltered conversation.
So you guys got a big show absolutely big show coming up here on June 17th and Marcus Garvey Amphitheater. I shortened it because it's made it shorter to put it on the screen itself though, but it's a celebration going into Juneteenth. And I know T-Rex, Sydir, some other friends out there, man. Tell the folks, especially if they're in the area or they trying to make it to the area, what they can expect on June 17th.
Bro,
well, I'm gonna be in concert. I'm bringing my band, and I don't know, man. You just have to see it live. It's an experience, especially when I got my band out there. And what I do, Tito's been coming with me. When I was headlining BB King's, I brought Tito with me to BB King's. When I was headlining, you know, he's like my partner. So Tito gonna be there. We got some rappers, we got some singers, we got gospel, hip hop, we got rap, and it's gonna be here at the amphitheater, and it's gonna be a good time, man. We're gonna celebrate Black music, give God praise, you know, celebrate each other, and it's free. Everybody just come.
That's completely free. Can I say something real quick? Let me get this brother right here his flowers, Rex. I don't know which way I'm pointing, but Rex. Listen, when I came back here to New York like 10 years ago now, I came here, of course, just with the aspirations of being an artist or what have you. But in this business, you have to be multifaceted. You can't just be stuck in one thing. You got to have like multi hustles. And this guy opened the door for me to be the stage manager that I am now, and the photographer that I am now, and the videographer that I am now. I remember he had a show one night, and the stage manager didn't show up, and he was looking mad stressed. And I was like, "Yo, Rex, what's the problem? What's going on?" Or whatever. He was like, "Yo, so and so's not here. The show needs to go on." Da, 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 da. I was like, "Well, can I help you with anything? Do I, what you need for me to do?" He gives me this list. He's like, "Here's the show. Make it happen." I was like, and I'm sitting here like da 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 da.
Yeah.
But it happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It got, it started on time and it ended on time. And since then, I've gone on to stage manage for Faith Evans, India Ari, all these people at SOB, so on and so forth. And I've gained this reputation of, like, when people hear that Sydir is going to be stage managing, it's like, oh, we know the show is going to start and end on time, so we're not worried. You know what I mean? It's crazy how that happens. So I gotta publicly thank my boy for helping me tap into something I didn't even know.
You gotta have Minty jobs. I just started being an artist. I just started putting out my own music a few years ago. I was managing. I was road managing life. I had an artist named Shalik I was managing. I was road managing Day 26. I was working at the labels. I was doing radio promotion. So I was like behind the scenes making a lot of things happen for a lot of people for a long time. So, I pretty much had like the skills kind of like to do everything. And then I just recently started putting out music. So I was always, behind the scenes doing a lot of different things. And I'm gonna tell you, life went back.
Was there anybody specifically that pushed you to do it?
Oh, Life Jennings. Like, even though I was a background singer, he had just came from jail. We was best friends. So I got to do stuff like the normal background singer was. Like, he was taking me to label meetings. I was up in Sony and all the meetings and all the radio promotion meetings. Like, I was with him. I was going everywhere he went. So I started learning everything. So I was working with Matthew Knowles, Beyonce dad. He was managing Life at the time, and I was the assistant. He came to me. He's like, "Man, you know what you're doing. You're gonna be my assistant." And I was like, "Assistant? You want me to be?" So I was like working with Matthew Knowles on a daily basis. We was traveling with Beyonce at the time, and him and Matthew Knowles didn't work out. And he came to me and was like, "Man, you know what? We keep getting these big managers. We had Alicia Keys' manager. That didn't work out. He kept trying to get these big managers thinking, if he got underneath one of these guys that had somebody big, that they could make him bigger, and it just didn't work out. So he was like, "Man, you could do it." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, you the new manager." And I was like, "Okay." And, I did that for a while. And then when he went back to jail, I still was an artist at the time. He went back to jail. I don't know if y'all remember the high-speed chase and all that. That happened. He said he said, "I ain't doing music no more." So I was like, "You know what? This is all I knew from high school." Right out of high school, start touring with him. Now, I'm making all my money all these years, and I was working with Neo a little bit here and Mario a little bit here, different artists. But my main money was him. So when he said he wasn't doing music anymore, he was going back to jail. That's when I started going and trying to get another artist. I got another artist named Shalik that I got a record deal for. And Shalik that's when I started working with Day 26 and all these other groups. And then he got out of jail and said, "Okay, I want to sing again."
But look, T-Rex, real quick. But this is why I wanted to tell you earlier when we were talking about the ghetto gospel. And then you were like, "Well, nah, so-and-so is singing to the ladies and stuff like that." Nobody can tell me that Life Jennings doesn't sing a ghetto gospel, no matter what he talking about.
What?
Yeah.
That man speaks to your soul, bro.
Yo, cry.
He's
say
ghetto
everything that you want to say.
That's made up my mind. Cry.
Everything, bro. You look at your girl and you be like, "Oh, you want to know how I feel?"
And you know what? I think that's why when I he was the first person I started singing with outside the church, and I think that's kind of why I didn't feel like I was going so far, because it was still the truth. At the end of the day.
I'm like I said, you be like, "You want to know how I feel?" He go, "Life's a bitch." And the joint just play. You like, "Yep, that's it. That's how I feel today."
Yeah.
Right.
So it is the ghetto. It is the ghetto gospel, really. Yeah, it is.
That's it.
Yeah.
And of course, you guys are listening to the Hot Seat podcast. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, whatever, this is the All Black Everything episode series, volume 3. It's your boy Sean, Earl, Dave, our special guests, Sydir and T-Rex. Of course, make sure you guys, if you guys are in the New York area, man, make sure you guys hit them up on June 17th, 5 p.m. at Marcus Garvey Amphitheater. Of course, and everything. Make sure you actually are tapping in with the new single from Sydir, Someone. So, of course, we can have you guys on the Hot Seat podcast, man, without getting to one of our listeners' favorite segments, and that is our Not So Breaking News. So, Dave, you ready for your Not So Breaking News, man?
Oh, yeah, we can throw it on out there. I don't know if you were playing the thing.
Let's go.
Not So Breaking News.
All right, so Not So Breaking News. In case y'all didn't know, everybody knows a Cornel West, right? But did you know that Cornel West is actually running for president? He calls it the People's Party. So he wants to reintroduce America to the best of itself, whatever that is. Fighting to the end of poverty, mass incarceration, ending wars, ecological collapse, guaranteeing housing, healthcare, education, living wages. Basically a dream. So, brothers, how y'all feel about, first Cornel West running for president? And then secondly, if you pay attention to all these different things that are going on, just the fact of the state of our politics in general, whether it's local, whether it's national, people that get in for different reasons, definitely not to be president because some of them pretty much have no shot in that type of sense. How do you feel about the certain way our politics are ran right now? And then also Cornel West.
I
Bro,
think,
I'm so.
wow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
so
go ahead.
I'm so tapped out on politics. Like,
Word.
Now I'm the politician.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
politician.
I only watch CNN. I don't watch anything else on TV. No lie. My TV never leaves CNN. I just joined the Democratic board here in Harlem 2 years ago.
Okay.
And once you learn the system and you learn how it breaks down, the president, you can say what you're gonna do, whatever you saying you're gonna do. But if you ain't got them votes in the House, ain't nothing happening.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's
I definitely just tell the people.
That's where the change. The president,
make sure
you
you pay
only got
attention to your local politics.
Yeah, you only got but so much power as a president. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'll be like, a lot of people mad at Biden, but it ain't really Biden. He can't get the votes in the House to do what he wants to do. He wants to stop, pass the gun legislation, but we got the people on the far right that's not going to vote for it. So what happens is they say, you know what? You said you was going to do, but then you can only do but so much if you don't got the votes in the House, So the older I'm getting, I'm learning, man, you gotta vote, and you gotta be on these committees. You gotta get up. In order to change, you gotta get on the committees. We doing this concert right now. We doing this concert at Marcus Garvey Park,
right?
Which is a historic spot because I'm on the committee. I would have never got this. They would have never gave it to me. So a lot of times we sitting back, we won't change it. This ain't right, but we ain't doing what we need to be doing to make these changes. And you got to get out. You got to vote. Especially in our local. People don't pay the local things no attention, but that's where the power comes from. All these little local minor people come together, and it stops big things from happening.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. I know you're watching CNN, but realize anything. I don't care what platform it's on. Anything you see in the news is what they want you to know.
Right.
So if you really want to know what's going on, you do got to dig deep. You got to look into certain things that are going on.
Right. That's where God comes in.
Yep.
You can't just watch anything. You can't just watch anything and do anything. Have sense and balance it out. Mix. I listen, but that don't mean I'm really, gonna do everything. I'm listening to what they saying, and then I'm going back for myself, and I'm doing research as well, and tapping into my inner spirit, man, and asking my inner spirit, man, is it agreeing with my ear, with everything else is going on? So, never just listen to something. Listen to it, take it, consult your spirit man about it. You know what I'm saying? Pray about it, do your own little research, and then come up with an answer.
That's it.
For me,
it.
that's how,
Yeah, y'all better than me because I didn't like Sydir. I done tapped out of this.
Yeah, man.
Between
between DeSantis in Florida and
yeah.
Aaron in New York,
yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah, I done tapped out, man. And it's like, and just like to your point,
we've gotten to a point, man.
Now I'm saying, like, just like to your point, it's a lot of people don't understand how the government work because it's ignorance,
Yep.
So everybody think, all right, cool, you the president, you should be able to make certain things happen, but it's like, nah, he got to go. It's got to go through the Senate, Congress, so it's they kind of become the scapegoat, in the sense,
right.
and that's the part that sucks. It's but I will say that, like, I tuned out from the government because I just felt like it wasn't stuff that was like benefiting our people, and then they would pander for our vote, and we would do it. They would get celebrities to say, rock the vote.
Well,
all
every
this.
4 years,
hold on.
every 4 years, you're important.
Hold on. They get everybody to say, rock the vote and all of this shit. And then next thing you know, as soon as they get in, it's just like, we have another agenda. Like, perfect example, and I love Barack Obama. You know what I'm saying? I love Barack Obama. The one thing that I had an issue with him with is the fact that when he got into the House, I feel like the black agenda got lost, but he made sure that everybody else got their stuff. But I will say this, and this is to our fault as well. They got their stuff because they stuck together and they held them accountable. Black folks, we don't do that. You know what I'm saying? We do enough, we get you in there, but then now it's like, I bet we need this, and that. We got to hold this person accountable. Other demographics, our counterparts, they don't play that. No, you're gonna give me what I need because we're gonna hold you accountable and we're gonna show you like we put you in here. You know what I'm saying? And I wish we would do that, but again, that goes into like kind of like the ignorance and not knowing how government works and things of that nature.
Gotcha.
That's a good way to tie it off right there, Earl, because we take this all the way back to the very beginning when we were talking about the song Freedom. It was a song at the time for a time, while it should be a song that carries over month after month, day after day. So that being the case, man, ain't no better way to finish this interview, man. Of course, this podcast wouldn't be what it is, man, if we hadn't taken our Xbox Live conversations, because this is how we talk when we play video games and shit. And we took that during the pandemic and turned it to a podcast where everybody's loved globally now. Of course, you can find me on Xbox Live, man. Your boy Sean Xavier, playing everything. Street Fighter 6 just came out for everybody who still plays video games. It's great to say the least. Sanaa 2X, man. Sanaa 2X on Xbox Live. What you got, Dave?
The storyteller. Hey, Microsoft pulled the trigger, man. And what I mean by that, if y'all don't know, Microsoft and Activision have been trying to join up and everything to be able to get hold of Activision and things like Call of Duty, but the UK is holding them up. So they say that Microsoft might pull the trigger on the fact of, hey, we just gonna bypass that and we just won't release Activision games in the UK. I'm all for it. So let's keep it going. Let's keep it pushing. By the way, if you have not seen Spider-Man across the universe, make sure you do it. We're gonna do a hot take on it. Miles Morales, black superhero. We got to support ourselves, all black everything. It is awesome to the point that I believe my son in the next year is gonna look exactly like Miles Morales. He don't have to tell me. I already know he is. So, do you think? Storyteller.
NJ Fatboy 973. I didn't see that Spider-Man movie, but my son, he been thinking he was Miles Morales, so I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to take him. You know what I'm saying? In terms of the games, I don't have no time to play them no more. But the wife and kid is going tonight, and I'm off tomorrow.
Why don't you have time, Earl? Let them know.
Oh, I mean, I'm in school, so
you in school for what, Earl?
Trying to get my doctorate. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're gonna get your doctorate.
I'm going to get my doctorate. That's what I'm in school for. So that's been consuming a lot of my
school.
time.
Not for me.
It ain't for me either, but for what I do, I gotta go. Apparently,
Magnum cum laude.
Oh,
good stuff.
And for our two illustrious guests tonight, man, Sydir and T-Rex, man, let the folks know where they can find you, your handles, new music, what we got to look forward to, everything.
For everything for me is at I am Sydir. Website IamSydir.com.
Yep, and I'm more of an Instagram person. I do have a website, but if you go to my Instagram, you'll find everything there. At King RNGTREX, and my Instagram is popping too. So it is.
Yes, it is.
You come on my page and you comment, you might get in a fight with somebody.
Yeah, some of the videos be having me dying, man.
Hey, real quick, and I go back to my beginning statement. Now both of y'all get to see why I love doing this all black everything and pulling everybody in. They get to see a little bit of everything.
Everything.
So we appreciate y'all, man. We appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. Appreciate you.